So one of the challenges about 12 years back, around almost 13 years back, when we first time said a teacher delivers lecture, it is video shot and it is available on the computer. Everybody said, is it the way of learning? It's a nonsensical way of learning. We must sit in the classroom, teacher should sweat, we should see his entire shirt going wet, and then we get that academic orgasm. Otherwise, no, this is not the way of learning. After that, there was a challenge. A lot of people don't have computer to listen video based lectures. I still remember one of our PhD doctors, when he came, sir, entrance time is very short. I heard your videos are the easiest, shortest way to reach, do the revision. Yes sir, definitely. How to listen it on the computer, sir? Very simple. Take the mouse and click on the monitor. Then he took the mouse and clicking on the monitor. So sir, kuch bhi nahi ho rahe, it is not starting, opening up. No sir, click on the monitor doesn't mean take your mouse and put on monitor. You put the mouse in mouse's place and click on it. So then I still remember once delivering a lecture in Patna, when one of the students said, sir, आपके classes लेने के लिए क्या चाहिए सर? एक email ID होना है बेटा. अच्छा, email ID कितने पैसे को मिलता है सर आपके पास से? So those were all the days of 2001. Nowadays everybody have a Facebook. They have got lot of people waiting to chat and missing. So now the joy is even video library is available online, tests are available online. Every day 3 hours of live interactive session we are planning with about 70 teachers in our availability. And every day they will interact. If you miss the class, it is available in the video library anyway as a recording. So now the learning becomes much faster, speedier, easier. So that's the whole idea. Now doctor, let's take up the next question. Sclerosing cholangitis. Do you find mitochondrial antibody in that? Yes? You don't find. It is a common manifestation of Crohn's. And once there is sclerosing cholangitis, what is the important appearance, doctor? On ERCP? String of flakes is the classical appearance which need to be remembered. Steatosis, piecemeal necrosis, bridging fibrosis, and lymphocytic infiltration of portal areas. Classical histology of the liver biopsy in a hepatitis C patient. Now crescentic glomerulonephritis, the patient is having, and there is a linear GBM staining. What is the most likely possibility? How many of you answered it as good posture, which is much more a appropriate answer in this case, right? Instead of we'll come up with this answer at the end of the session. Okay. Herpes simplex, how do you diagnose? What is the best way to diagnose? We need to remember it is the PCR, which is the fastest way, polymerase chain reaction. Parainfluenza is the paramyxovirus. Polyoma, otherwise JC virus, is responsible for the multifocal leukoencephalopathy in a HIV positive patient. The gram-negative neurons, oxidase positive, microaerophilic environment required for them to grow in a gastric biopsy. They're all the music to the ears. No big deal to diagnose that it is Helicobacter pylori, and you must know what is triple regime of Helicobacter everything. Now doctor, if you want to treat Staph aureus with penicillin, the main challenge is the penicillinase activity, which is possessed by some of the strains. Now let me wake you up from the sleep, doctor. Which brain tumor is highly malignant, cerebellar in location, part of primitive ectodermal tumor, compress the fourth ventricle, and you find pseudo rosettes and rosettes and small blue cells on histology? Too many clues, eh? Huh? NEET will be like that only. If you know the answer, you will know it. If you don't know, no guessing. Simple. So that's right, all our online students from Guntur, Varangal, Kriti, Kirti and Kakinada, they all answered it as medulloblastoma. Group B streptococcal infection, if you take in case of a neonate, if there is no specific antibody, lack of opsonization, the phagocyte recognition, if it is not there, the organism can't be killed and they will be missing in a newborn baby. Hence neonatal sepsis is commonly because of group B streptococci. Gram negative rods, charcoal yeast extract agar, BCYE. Everybody's answer is Legionella. Quelling, capsulated organism like Streptococcus pneumoniae. Plasmodium falciparum, except in the case of a very high parasitemia, what you see is only the ring forms of the early trophozoites and the gametocytes are seen in the peripheral blood, is what need to be remembered. Why only Plasmodium falciparum leads to cerebral malaria, doctor? Not any other organism. Plasmodium malariae, others don't cause. The reason is when Plasmodium falciparum infects an RBC, RBC will develop sticky knobs. When those sticky knob containing RBCs are flowing through the vasculature of the brain, they will be stuck to the endothelium of the vessels and that lead to blocking of the vessels and ischemia to the brain. And sometimes in malaria patients, you remember, they will present like a stroke patient, fever and stroke, and you will only be thinking of meningitis, meningoencephalitis, etc. And if you happen to get a Plasmodium malaria strain, it will be positive. To treat malaria, that will be only a transient stroke. So even stroke-like clinical presentation can occur in cerebral malaria is what you have to basically remember. Tinea saginata and the solium, what is the main difference? Unlike saginata, only solium can produce cysticercosis, not Tinea saginata. Now tell me, doctor, I am shooting you a question. Which anti-glaucoma drug? It will typically cause an increase of the aqueous humor and the darkening of the iris. One loud answer? Excellent. Latanoprost. So you must know the side effects, mechanism of action of the various glaucoma drugs, including our Varangal students shooting the answer as latanoprost. You have epinephrine. I leave this as a part of a quick literature for you. Now, when you have taken a sample, 90% are toxoplasma IgG positive. What does it mean? The reason is, toxoplasma is so widespread that it is very mild and self-limiting, and lot of people might have remotely get infected without symptoms, and that lead to lot of IgG positivity. Hence, for example, if your patient is lying down in a bed, he is a HIV positive patient, and you are suspecting cerebral toxoplasmosis. When you send a serum sample, if it is not IgM, if it is IgG, you can't depend on that to diagnose. Because IgG can be positive even in you, but you are not toxoplasma, right? So that's the reason we don't depend on IgG. Pneumocystis carinii. It is the direct fluorescent antibody microscopy which will enable you to basically diagnose. Sarcoptes cabii and scabies need to be remembered. Amoebae are known not only to cause peritonitis but also the amoebic liver abscess. We do the enzyme immunoassay, which is the best way to diagnose the giardiasis. Now let me shoot a question, doctor. What are they? Excellent. We already have a razor-like answer from our Nampally students, so also our online students. Meiosis, constipation, as told by our Guntur students also. Now doctor, what are the phase 2 reactions? Glucuronidation, acetylation, sulfonation, like conjugation reactions, they are all the part of it. Epinephrine is the drug of choice if it is anaphylaxis. Then eplerenone, spironolactone, they are all basically aldosterone antagonists which are used in the management of Conn syndrome, hyperaldosteronism. Tyramine, typically is associated with tachyphylaxis, where there is a rapid tolerance to the drug effects. Acetazolamide can lead to metabolic alkalosis, and also it can lead to paresthesias and somnolence as the important side effect. Okay, doc, shoot me an answer. Which antiepileptic is known to block T-type calcium channels in the thalamus? Excellent. We already have an answer in Hyderabad. Valproate by our Guntur students is wrong. Any other answer? Lamotrigine is a overshoot from Warangal. So the answer is simple, as already told by our, that's good, Varun and our students say, ethosuximide is the drug. So you must know all antiepileptic drug mechanism, how do they act next 2 months. Huh? Now if you look at the drugs, warfarin, alcohol, aspirin, tolbutamide, phenytoin, they follow a zero order kinetics. Zero order kinetics. Now ondansetron is a 5-HT3 antagonist. Amiodarone can lead to thyroiditis, both hypo and also hyper. Both forms of thyroidism can be caused by amiodarone. So what are the 6 P's and amiodarone you are not going to forget? P, prolonged safe duration. P, photosensitivity. P, pigmentation. P, peripheral neuropathy. P, pulmonary alveolitis, and P is peripheral conversion of T4 to T3 is basically inhibited by the amiodarone. 6 P's you are not going to forget. Valproate is used in the management of myoclonic seizures. Then there are certain drugs which are known to damage the mucosa of the gut. Neomycin, methotrexate, vinblastine. Some drugs alter the motility of the gut, like anticholinergics, opioids and metoclopramide. So that is how the absorption from the gut get affected with the drugs. Nephrotoxicity is a problem with cyclosporin. Then vitamin K we use for the warfarin. Metronidazole is effective only against anaerobes, not the aerobes.